In the quaint village of Meryton, a rumor stirs excitement among the residents. A wealthy bachelor, Mr. Bingley, has moved into the nearby Netherfield Park. The news spreads like wildfire, igniting the hopes of mothers and daughters alike. Among them is Mrs. Bennet, whose primary ambition is to see her daughters married well. She dreams of the lavish balls and social gatherings that this new arrival might bring. Elizabeth Bennet, the second of the 5 Bennet sisters, remains skeptical of the societal pressures surrounding marriage. With her sharp wit and independent spirit, she challenges the notion that a woman's worth is tied to her marital status. As the family prepares for the upcoming ball, the contrasting personalities of the sisters emerge. Jane, the eldest, embodies sweetness and grace, while Lydia, the youngest, is frivolous and obsessed with the officers of the local regiment. The anticipation builds as the ball approaches, setting the stage for encounters that will change their lives forever. Elizabeth's curiosity about Mr. Bingley is piqued, yet she is determined to remain true to herself, dismissing the idea that love should be a mere transaction. The chapter concludes with the promise of intrigue and romance, leaving readers eager to discover how the arrival of Mr. Bingley will alter the course of the Bennet sisters' lives. The night of the ball arrives, and excitement fills the air at Netherfield. The grand hall is adorned with sparkling chandeliers, and the music resonates through the space, inviting guests to dance. Elizabeth enters, her heart racing not just from the thrill of the event but also from her determination to observe rather than participate in the societal game of courtship. Mr. Bingley, handsome and charming, quickly captures the attention of the attendees, but it is his friend, Mr. Darcy, who stands aloof, seemingly indifferent to the festivities. Elizabeth overhears Mr. Darcy dismissing her as tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, igniting her disdain for him. Despite this initial encounter, Bingley is drawn to Jane, and their chemistry is palpable, sparking hope in Mrs. Bennet's heart. As the evening unfolds, Elizabeth's spirited nature shines through as she engages in lively conversation with others, showcasing her independence. The contrast between Bingley's warmth and Darcy's cold demeanor becomes a focal point, setting the stage for the complex relationships that will develop. Elizabeth finds herself intrigued by Darcy's enigmatic presence, despite her initial judgment. The chapter ends with the promise of budding romances and the tension between societal expectations and personal desires. The following morning, the village buzzes with gossip about the ball. Elizabeth and Jane discuss their impressions, with Jane expressing optimism about Mr. Bingley's interest in her. Elizabeth, however, remains wary of the societal pressures surrounding marriage and warns her sister not to get her hopes too high. Meanwhile, Mrs. Bennet is in high spirits, convinced that Jane's beauty will secure their future. The sisters' conversations reveal the stark differences in their outlooks on love and marriage. While Jane embodies hope and kindness, Elizabeth values independence and self-awareness. The arrival of Mr. Collins, the Bennets' pompous cousin, complicates matters further. He is set to inherit their estate, and Mrs. Bennet sees him as a potential suitor for one of her daughters. His visit is met with mixed feelings. Elizabeth finds him insufferable, while Jane tries to be polite. Mr. Collins's absurdity provides comic relief, but it also highlights the precarious position of the Bennet sisters in a society that prioritizes wealth and status over genuine affection. As tensions rise within the household, Elizabeth's resolve to remain true to herself strengthens, setting the stage for her evolving views on love and marriage. Mr. Collins's proposal to Elizabeth is a turning point in the narrative. His approach is comically formal, filled with self-importance and absurdity. Elizabeth listens in disbelief as he outlines the benefits of their union, emphasizing his desire to please Lady Catherine de Bourgh, his wealthy patroness. Elizabeth's rejection is firm yet respectful, showcasing her strength and independence. Mr. Collins, taken aback, insists that she is merely being modest, unaware of her true feelings. The scene serves as a powerful commentary on the absurdity of marriage proposals during the Regency era, where social standing often outweighed personal happiness. Elizabeth's refusal not only defies societal expectations but also highlights her commitment to finding love on her own terms. The reactions of her family are mixed. Mrs. Bennet is furious, while Mr. Bennet supports Elizabeth's decision. This chapter emphasizes the importance of self-agency and sets the stage for Elizabeth's continued resistance against societal norms. As Mr. Collins vows to seek another bride, Elizabeth feels a renewed sense of freedom, yet she is aware that her choices place her at odds with societal expectations. After Mr. Collins's failed proposal, the Bennet sisters receive an invitation to dine at Netherfield. Elizabeth is apprehensive but intrigued, eager to observe the dynamics between Mr. Bingley, his sister Caroline, and Mr. Darcy. The evening unfolds with a mix of tension and camaraderie. Jane and Bingley's connection deepens, while Elizabeth finds herself increasingly drawn to Darcy, despite her earlier disdain. The conversation flows, revealing the characters' complexities. Caroline's snobbery contrasts sharply with Bingley's warmth, while Darcy's brooding nature piques Elizabeth's curiosity. Elizabeth's spirited exchanges with Darcy challenge his aloofness, creating an electric tension between them. The highlight of the evening is a spirited debate about the nature of pride and prejudice, where Elizabeth articulates her views with conviction, impressing Darcy. As the night progresses, Elizabeth realizes that there is more to Darcy than meets the eye, prompting her to reconsider her initial judgments. The chapter ends with a sense of intrigue, as Elizabeth grapples with her growing attraction to Darcy, despite her reservations about his character. As the days pass, Elizabeth's visits to Netherfield become more frequent, and her interactions with Darcy grow more complex. Their conversations reveal layers of intelligence and wit, challenging Elizabeth's preconceived notions. Darcy, intrigued by Elizabeth's independence and sharp mind, begins to admire her spirit, though he struggles with his own feelings. Meanwhile, Jane and Bingley's relationship flourishes, providing a backdrop of romance that contrasts with Elizabeth's inner turmoil. Caroline Bingley's jealousy of Elizabeth becomes evident, as she attempts to undermine her at every turn. Elizabeth's resilience shines through as she navigates these social challenges, remaining true to herself despite the pressure to conform. The tension between her and Darcy intensifies, filled with unspoken emotions and misunderstandings. A pivotal moment occurs during a discussion about social class, where Elizabeth passionately defends her beliefs, captivating Darcy. He, in turn, is struck by her conviction and depth, yet remains conflicted by his own pride. The chapter concludes with a sense of anticipation, as both characters grapple with their feelings amidst societal expectations. The turning point arrives when Elizabeth receives news of her family's troubles back home. Lydia's impulsive behavior and her desire for excitement lead to a scandal that threatens the family's reputation. Elizabeth is torn between her loyalty to her family and her growing feelings for Darcy. In a moment of vulnerability, she confides in him about her concerns, revealing her strong sense of duty and honor. Darcy, moved by her honesty, begins to see her in a new light, recognizing the depth of her character. Their conversation shifts the dynamics between them, as Darcy's admiration for Elizabeth grows alongside his internal struggle with societal expectations. This chapter highlights the importance of character and integrity over social standing, emphasizing Elizabeth's strength in the face of adversity. As the news of Lydia's escapade spreads, the tension within the Bennet family escalates, leaving Elizabeth feeling trapped between her love for her family and her desire for personal happiness. The chapter ends with a sense of urgency, as Elizabeth realizes that her family's reputation is at stake, prompting her to take action. The crisis unfolds as Mr. Wickham, a charming officer with a murky past, enters the scene. Elizabeth is captivated by his charisma, but her initial infatuation is clouded by the warning signs of his character. Wickham's tale of mistreatment at Darcy's hands paints him as a victim, and Elizabeth's sympathies are drawn to him. However, as she learns more about the truth, her perception begins to shift. Darcy's reputation becomes intertwined with Wickham's deceit, creating a web of misunderstandings and false narratives. The tension between Elizabeth and Darcy intensifies as she grapples with her feelings, torn between her attraction to Wickham and her growing awareness of Darcy's true nature. The chapter serves as a critical moment for Elizabeth, as she must confront her prejudices and biases. The stakes are raised when Lydia's reckless behavior leads to a scandal that threatens to ruin the Bennet family's reputation. Elizabeth realizes that her actions have consequences that extend beyond her own desires, forcing her to confront the reality of her situation. The chapter ends with a sense of impending doom as the crisis reaches its peak, leaving Elizabeth to question her beliefs and the nature of true character. In the wake of the crisis, Darcy takes it upon himself to intervene in the Bennet family's affairs. He approaches Elizabeth with a newfound determination, revealing the truth about Wickham's character and his own involvement in the family's troubles. This revelation shocks Elizabeth, forcing her to re-evaluate her judgments and assumptions. Darcy's willingness to help Lydia, despite the risks to his own reputation, showcases his growth and depth of character. As they navigate this complex situation together, Elizabeth begins to see Darcy in a new light, recognizing the layers of pride and vulnerability beneath his stoic exterior. Their interactions become charged with unspoken emotions as Elizabeth grapples with her feelings of admiration and confusion. The chapter highlights the theme of redemption, as Darcy seeks to make amends for past mistakes and prove his worth to Elizabeth. Elizabeth's internal struggle intensifies as she confronts her own prejudices, realizing that love can transcend societal expectations. The tension between them reaches a boiling point, culminating in a moment of vulnerability that forces both characters to confront their true feelings. The chapter ends with a sense of hope, as the path to understanding and reconciliation begins to unfold. As the dust settles from the crisis, Elizabeth and Darcy's relationship takes center stage. The misunderstandings that once divided them begin to dissolve, replaced by a growing mutual respect and admiration. Darcy's efforts to assist the Bennet family demonstrate his commitment to Elizabeth, challenging her preconceived notions about his character. Their conversations deepen, marked by honesty and vulnerability as they share their fears, aspirations, and the societal pressures they face. Elizabeth's journey of self-discovery culminates in a powerful realization: love is not bound by social class or reputation but is rooted in understanding and connection. Darcy's transformation from prideful aristocrat to a man willing to change for love becomes evident as he embraces his feelings for Elizabeth wholeheartedly. The chapter highlights the importance of personal growth and the ability to overcome societal expectations. As they navigate their feelings, both characters come to understand that true love requires courage and authenticity. The resolution of their relationship is beautifully portrayed, culminating in a heartfelt declaration that solidifies their bond. The chapter ends with a sense of triumph, as Elizabeth and Darcy step into a future filled with promise, ready to face the world together. The long-awaited union between Elizabeth and Darcy unfolds amidst the backdrop of societal scrutiny and familial expectations. Their engagement is met with mixed reactions from their families and friends, highlighting the complexities of love in a world dictated by class and convention. Elizabeth's determination to stay true to herself shines through as she navigates the challenges of her new position. The wedding preparations are filled with moments of joy and reflection, as both characters contemplate their journey from misunderstanding to acceptance. The contrast between the lavishness of the event and the simplicity of their love story serves as a reminder that true happiness lies in authenticity. As they exchange vows, the significance of their union transcends societal norms, symbolizing a triumph over prejudice and pride. The ceremony is intimate, filled with laughter and heartfelt moments, showcasing the strength of their bond. Friends and family gather to celebrate, each character reflecting the growth they have experienced throughout the story. The chapter culminates in a joyous celebration where love triumphs over societal expectations and Elizabeth and Darcy embark on their new life together, ready to face the world as partners. In the final chapter, Elizabeth and Darcy settle into their life together, navigating the complexities of marriage with grace and humor. Their relationship evolves into a partnership built on mutual respect, understanding, and love. The couple visits Pemberley, where Elizabeth is struck by the beauty of Darcy's estate, reflecting the growth of her feelings for him. Their interactions with family and friends reveal the transformation of their characters, showcasing the impact of love on personal growth. The narrative circles back to themes of pride and prejudice, illustrating how both characters have learned to overcome their flaws. Elizabeth's keen observations and Darcy's newfound humility create a harmonious balance in their relationship. The chapter emphasizes the importance of communication and compromise, as they navigate the challenges of married life. As they reflect on their journey, the couple acknowledges the lessons learned and the strength gained from their experiences. The story concludes with a sense of fulfillment and hope as Elizabeth and Darcy embrace their future together, embodying the idea that true love can conquer all obstacles. Their love story becomes a testament to the power of understanding and acceptance, leaving readers with a lasting message about the beauty of personal growth and the triumph of love over societal constraints.